Hello, howdy, hi. Hello. I don't know how to properly start this video since it's the actual first proper video here on this channel. Hi, welcome. I haven't come up with the proper introduction to this stuff yet. I'm a little shy. Hey, we're gonna be doing a bit of a let's play. I've decided that my content style for this channel is going to be let's play based because I find personal enjoyment out of the sort of olden days of a lot of let's play content. I realize I didn't even say what I didn't even say what the actual game we're doing is. We're doing Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. I want to make it very known at a time that this is going to be a primarily probably Nintendo centered let's play sort of channel. I say let's play channel like it's only going to be let's plays. I don't think that's going to necessarily be the intention. But yeah, I have quite the history of just loving this game to death. This game I grew up with. I grew up primarily with like the DS, the GameCube, the Wii, the likes, right? Stuff like that. And this game I particularly have a very funny history with, which was that I originally got, this is the version that most people know when you hear people talk about this game, which is the GameCube version. Back on the GameCube version, it was kind of a different game. I mean, I say kind of different. The fundamentals of it were remotely the same, but the Wii version, I guess, just kind of streamlined a bit more stuff. But yeah, the GameCube version was more akin to like, you had the DK bongos, right? Which, they were a set of bongos that, you could just pat the bongos, you could clap. It had centers for it and everything, and it was just a whole ordeal. That was really what I guess the whole functionality of it was. Sorry, I am bad with my commentary. I am doing my best. I think I'm going to have to get better with this stuff, but yeah. So obviously, the original GameCube version was very centered around the DK bongos, and at the time that I got this game, I don't remember if I had particularly asked for it or if, like, the parents got it for, like a Christmas gift, a birthday gift. I don't really remember the specifics, but I remember they had gotten the original GameCube version, but we didn't have DK bongos. That was kind of the twist to it all, right? We didn't have DK bongos, meaning that, here, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Hello? Okay, there we go. We didn't have DK bongos, which meant that, now I thought at the time that it basically meant that you just couldn't play the game. That's technically not true. I have learned, I've known this for a while, but I learned that, you definitely can still play the game. It's just you have to play it through the means of using the GameCube controller, which we had one. However, if you've ever seen how, I guess, doing that works, it's a very awkward experience playing the original GameCube version on, just the GameCube controller. It's a very strange experience and it doesn't work quite like efficiently. Not that should be a surprise, really. I think it is going to be no surprise that if the game is meant for DK bongos and you play it on a GameCube controller, yes, of course, it's naturally going to be a little jank, but, what can you do, right? There's not really much you can do. But I don't know. So at the time, I was pretty distraught. And then I think it was pretty soon after that. I probably should have done that order of operations a little different. I'm sorry. Yeah. So my parents, they'd eventually gotten me the Wii version of this game. And honestly, dude, the Wii version of this game, as I mentioned before, is a lot more streamlined, I guess, simply because it's, it made more usage of, instead of the whole gimmick being the DK bongos, it's just Wiimote nunchuck, you do the shake, the likes, right? Your typical Wii, your typical Nintendo Wii motion control stuff. Yeah. But also, by the way, I just want to clarify, if you see that my shaking's a little weird, that is simply because I am not playing this game on actual, like, I'm not playing this on the Wii. Well, yes, I'm not playing this on the Wii. I think I could be pretty open about the fact that this is emulated. Nintendo, don't smite me down. You'll be fine. If I get smited down, I'll just never mention it again, I guess. But, yeah, I basically, I don't know. So I'm not playing this with a Wiimote and nunchuck. I'm actually playing this with an Xbox controller, and I feel like saying that it's like the grossest thing ever, right? Like, it's gotta sound like the grossest thing ever, because, you know, how are you doing those shake inputs on an Xbox controller? My X and Y button are mapped to the shake inputs, and I think Dolphin weirdly handles how you do shake inputs on like a non-motion control controller. Because if you're seeing, there's these weird intervals where, like, the shake doesn't really go through, I guess you could say. We are fighting Dread Kong. Let's go. I've also realized, I thought going into this I was going to be, like, explaining what's going on in game, but then I kind of realized quickly before I started recording that, I'm not going to try and sit here and explain every little bit of what's happening to you guys in that sense. I don't think I'm that keen on making this very Let's Play focused, but, I'm not going to sit here and act like I haven't played this game several a time. This is going to be one of many playthroughs that I have done of this game. If none of you happen to know how this boss fight typically tends to work, I mean, there's several different categories of boss fights in this game, right? You have, like, this type of boss fight where it's the Kongs, and typically it's just kind of a beat 'em up. You have a typical way that you have to work around dodging them and everything. And, each Kong fight works differently, and then there's other types of bosses, which I won't really say right now if you don't know much about them, but they just, I don't know, they have different mechanics to them, and, as you go on and fight more variants of them, they kind of tack on the mechanics, or in the case of the Kongs, it's not so much tacking on, well, kind of is, but it becomes more focused around, I guess, say, just adapting to the fact that complex mechanics can exist and will exist. I don't know. That's probably not the best way to word it. I'm not too sure what format I want to do with the links of these videos yet, by the way. Again, this is weird for me. I apologize if any of this is very awkward. I'm gonna have to formulate like an intro, especially because I realize I didn't really have a proper intro for this, and I apologize for that. But hopefully things will get a little better with it. We got 3 crests, by the way. I don't think it's going to be very hard for me to not get 3 crests per thing. I'm pretty good with handling the combo system in this game and everything. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what format I want to do with like the links of these videos yet. I was thinking like 15 to 20 minutes a piece, something like that, which I think in the context of this game would equal out to maybe like 2 Kingdoms an episode. I'm not 100% too sure, but I also know I'm not too confident with messing with thumbnail stuff yet, so maybe at least the first couple episodes will just be thumbnail-less, which, I mean, I guess if I wanted to be technical, could add to the old school Let's Play vibe, but I do eventually want to, like, even if they're kind of simplistic thumbnails, I want to, I guess, get something going with them, right? But yeah, I think like 15 to 20 minutes per episode is, wow, I completely whiffed that. That's kind of crazy. They should do, but I do also find it kind of interesting, by the way. This is just another little talking point that I do find kind of interesting about this game. There's, like I said, the GameCube version of this game, it's the version most people associate with this game, right? Because, you know, it was the one where the gimmick mattered the most. I feel like they watered around the whole, like, pummeling enemies to death thing when you just make it tied to Wii motion controls, which, while I guess they're important, they didn't have as much charm, I guess, as the GameCube version. And I do want to actually play the GameCube version proper one day, because I've never played it proper. The only version of the game that I have played proper up to this point was the Wii version, and I do believe Dolphin supports, I believe it supports DK Bongo stuff. Let's go, 400. You'll love to see it. I do believe it supports the DK bongos. So I might actually, like, you know, one day try and do something with that. I do know at some point, though, whenever I have the availability, again, I know I said I'm kind of playing this on emulator, but preferably with these Let's Plays, I actually wouldn't want to do that. I actually want to play it on real hardware at some point, and maybe, you know, if it takes a good while and I you know, I've done several Wii playthroughs of, you know, the main games I care about. I know at some point I'd really like to do Galaxy playthroughs. I think that would be particularly interesting to me. Again, I don't know as much. I normally would want to balance, like, that thing of, like, oh, would you guys want to see that? But again, I'm kind of having to factor in, oh, there's not really many people here. Again, it's that beginning of a channel awkwardness, I guess, and having to learn around that. But, you know, I just know right now it's mostly doing the games that I'm interested in, doing them in the format that I'm interested in, and just kind of going from there, I guess, really. And let's see if I can do ooh, nice. Go. And then we do this. See, I have always been huge on trying to overcomplicate the crap out of the combo system in this game and just work around that. Ooh, yeah, I think we're probably going to do a roughly, like, 2 kingdom per video format for this game, which might make some videos under 15 minutes, but maybe I'll end up changing my mind on that, and then we'll eventually go to, like, hour-long videos. I doubt that. I think the longest I could see any video that I want to do with my Let's Play stuff on this channel is, like, maybe 30 minutes. I don't know. That's, like, the longest I want to do. Yeah, so you have the rock fights. These are just birds with little eggs, and the whole goal is you gotta hop up to them, get on the egg, and just pummel that to death, and then they eventually get, like, a little, like, smoke cloud around them. So it's like a shield barrier they have. And then after that, you can wail on them once you get that little shield barrier. Of course, I know this looks super oversimplified, but I know especially these rock fights, they get a lot more complicated. They don't necessarily get as complicated. I mean, the rock birds themselves, they do gain new moves, but more of the focus that I guess these fights have over the course of you encountering them is the layout of things getting a lot more complicated. Like, you have to do a lot more hoops and hurdles to actually get to the egg in question. But they do tack on new moves for these guys after a certain period of time. Well, I say after a certain period of time. I do believe they tack on basically a new move every fight with them. Which they have one type of fight per boss type. Like, I guess there's, I don't want to call it a world system, but there's basically the DK, J, and B barrels, which are essentially, they're kind of like your worlds of this game, right? They're sort of like your worlds to a certain degree, and you know, each world there's a certain there's one of each boss type, right? And for each I don't know. I'm very bad. If you can't tell, I'm trying to figure out how to, you know, kind of put together my thoughts very well with these, because again, this is new to me. I'm trying to get used to this, so apologize if, you know, for a little bit, first couple parts, whatever, things are kind of awkward with my speech because I don't really know exactly how to word stuff. 1500's pretty good though, let me tell you. And I just hope to get better with it. I don't know. I think it'll definitely be doable. We got another 3 crester. I say this like it's like a struggle. Again, unfortunately, if you're wanting this raw experience of, you know, struggle to get that crest counter up, it's not exactly as much of a struggle for me. I think I've played through enough of this game. For a lot of people, a lot of the Let's Plays that you'd see people doing in this game, you know, or any game, especially in the Nintendo sphere, I feel it's a lot of people who maybe they haven't played it that often, so their actual skill at being good at the game is not as up there. That's not to call out the content creators, by the way. That's not at all what I am going for. But it, you know, it's just weird kind of playing this game a little more effortlessly. But I'm enjoying this thus far, and very much enjoying the format. Again, what are we at? We're at 15 minutes. Yeah, okay. I think we're going to do like a 2 Kingdom format, which is going to be weird because it's like mid-episode, we're going to be crossing into a new kingdom, which is a a little weird, or a new barrel. Yeah, new barrel, that's the term. Which is going to be a little weird, but I think I'm willing to, I guess, work with that. I don't know. So yeah, that's going to be this episode. Episode 1, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. You'll love to see it. Again, apologize for things being kind of awkward. I'm new to this. I'm kind of trying to figure out how to articulate these well, because it's just, I'm new to this. So hopefully, if any of you happen to see this in the future, I didn't mean to click on that. See, that's how you know I'm awkward with this. We're not doing the Watermelon Kingdom this episode, but next time, next time we're doing it. Don't worry about it. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching. If any of you are watching, see, again, kind of awkward about it, but thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next episode, which hopefully will be soon. And yeah, take care. Bye-bye.